G'day legends, yes I am lucky enough in front of me to have one of the Radium Performance Genesis boards. That's right, 01 is here, it's brand new, it's been given to me by Phillip, the brand new owner of this board. He hasn't ridden it yet and he gave it to me to review, to share with the community and tell everybody what I think of it. I'm going to get into some specs. First up though, I'm going to just go through a few basics.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Craig Taylor.
So, here I am on the Radium Performance board, the Genesis Mach 1. This is brand new. It's literally done 30 meters from my car to this position. And Phillip, who's the owner of this board, hasn't ridden it yet, and he's given it to me to go out and take out. So this is it. And basically this is my first board and brand new ride on a brand new board that's never been touched. This is amazing. So we're only in low mode. Let's see how this goes. I've never ridden this board, even in Vegas I didn't get to ride it. So that's low mode, it's accelerating beautifully. And I tell you, I'm flying already in low mode, so if this is low, I'd hate to see where we're going. So this is pretty wild. Woo! Oh, tell you what, it's absolutely peaking along. Brakes are really responsive, as you'd expect. Just slowing down. The suspension uptake on this, the carvability is really nice. And this board is just next level beautiful. I am so petrified to mark it up. I'm trying desperately not to get it dirty. But we've had rain and crap for 2 days, and I think I'm damn out of luck. So, this is it. Hoyt puck is what it's running. The charger for this is a 12 amp charger from about basically flat to 90%. It's going to take about 2 hours. I'm going to get in to show you the deck shape quickly. Have a look at that. It's absolutely beautiful. That truck system there in the rear. You can see that truck's at the back there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful board. It is something of sheer amazement. I'm going to get into the specs of this. I'm going to walk through them while I'm riding. So enjoy the ride footage while I walk through the specs for you. Hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you on the other side where I'll tell you my pros and cons for this board, and some of the areas where they maybe could improve, and some of the areas where they've just absolutely nailed it. And be prepared for whatever comes of it. So let's get into the specs. Range, 30 miles, 48 kilometers. Obviously range is always questionable, so depending on rider weight and etc., that could be plus or minus. If you're bombing hills, going up and down a lot of hills, you're going to get different range. Top speed of this thing is 45 mile an hour or 72 kilometers an hour. This thing will also do 0 to 30 mile per hour in 3 seconds. That's also converted to kilometers. It's 0 to 48 kilometers per hour in 3 seconds. The trucks themselves are the R6 machined trucks from Radium. They're machined in-house. The rear steer of this is 30 degrees. The front of it is 60 degrees, which gives great steering and carvability. It's also coupled with the 237mm hangers in the front for ultra responsive handling. The deck is a one-piece carbon fiber deck. It's got 8 screws in it, so you can actually remove it quite quickly. And the reason for that is obviously if you want to access the electronics you can, if you want to plug in your computer to do the best changes you can, obviously the Bluetooth setup and everything as well. But 8 screws pop off the top and everything's exposed, and it's exposes the full they're calling the F1 derived monocoque chassis, and in that side that chassis has a full carbon fiber shell basically, and that's where the batteries and the ESC and everything set into. The suspension, which is the single pivot suspension, is basically bolted to that chassis and becomes one complete unit. Now that suspension as well is front and rear, and it is fully adjustable, so you can actually tune it up to be hard or soft depending on how you like your ride. This board, just to let you know also, this board hasn't got the RTS. It's prepared for it, it's ready to be put in, but it actually isn't in this board, but it will be in the next run of boards. So if you're going to get one of the 100 that are in the next build, or the big next build phase, if you're going to buy one, get in quick because these are not going to last long.
but if you're going to buy one, that will have the RTS system in it. The RTS system is the world's first torque vectoring system, and the RTS stands for Radium Torque Steering. It is something that is owned and derived and built by Radium only, and it's something that they are bringing to the market as something completely new and unique, and nobody else will have this unless they try and copy it, which I'm sure somebody will eventually do. But right now, Radium are the only guys, or the only team to be putting this together in electric skateboard, and it is the first ever in electric skateboard. Obviously, the result in that being when you're steering, the sensors are on the front, so as you're steering left or right, the left or right motor takes over and gives you more power in the area you need it, and better braking when you're actually coming into corners and you're braking. So it's going to work for acceleration and braking as well. So that's pretty mad, and I can't wait to test that out. They are building an app for this as well, so you can actually tune the board and do some stuff on the fly with your phone. Obviously the trucks themselves are the R6 trucks from Radium. They're machined in-house in their own factory, and they're all custom designed and built by them. Absolutely amazing. Obviously the split angle geometry as well of the trucks, we're running 30 degrees in the rear and 60 degrees in the front, which is giving super stability in the rear and super carvability in the front, and this thing does carve really well. Obviously a lot of these this information you can get straight off the website, so go into the website, link below, go in and have a look and just hack through all the details, because there's a lot in there. These guys are not hiding anything, they've put up everything so you know what's going on. Let's get into the tyres for a second. The airless rubber wheels, the SR 125, so 125mm diameter. These things give you a fair bit of feedback and a fair bit of control. You actually do feel everything with this board as far as wanting to hold on to the traction and so forth. That coupled with the steering ability of the trucks and also the suspension, I found going over the trail that you're seeing on screen, it's a trail that I've gone on a lot of times, and it's a trail that also has got a lot of bumps and a lot of undulation in it. It really has some tree roots coming up, which actually makes the board jump around. Normally I ride a normal urethane board through there at speed 30-40 kilometers an hour or something, and the board jumps around and I lose the road a lot underfoot. With this, with the suspension and these wheels, the combination allowed every single piece of the board to stay in just about complete contact at all times. I did not feel the board disconnect from the ground at all, not even one wheel. I think the combination is perfect for that, and it was amazing to actually feel the board completely engaged at all times underfoot. So yeah, no slipping at all. Urethane belts, so polyurethane belts. I hit the brakes quite hard a few times. There was zero slippage, even though the tension on the belts was probably a little loose than I'd normally expect. There's zero problems, zero looseness as far as skipping belts or anything else. These things held on beautifully, and yeah, very impressive how they worked. Now, motors, obviously their motors are developed for the Mach 1, but I've got to say they are pretty much, I think, one of their standard motors, for the Radium standard motors. And when I say standard, it's nothing short of a miracle how these motors are put together, and quality product. Basically they are 6485 motors. They're running 150 amps per motor. They have got the mesh on the intake side of the actual motor and open port on the other side, so you're getting really good cooling in around that motor. The bearings are obviously bigger and heavy duty. They're typical Radium motors. They do not muck around. It's high quality, high quality, high quality. And they've got actually the can around the motor is a 2.5mm thick steel can, and they're really like, they're Radium motors. They're pretty much bulletproof, right? Absolutely amazing. Charger. The charger is a 12 amp charger from 0 to 90% in like 2 hours or less. When I got the board, it had very low charge in it, and I took it up quite quickly, about 1.5 hours to 90%, when it was about 10 or 15% charge on the board from there, and then another probably an hour or so to get it to that last 10-15%. So 2.5 hours gave me pretty much a full, heavy, and balanced charge on this board, which is fantastic. Alright, so that's pretty much all the specs. Obviously the price tag, it's sitting at US $3,300 online at the moment. They're taking deposits of half, 50% now and 50% prior to pickup, as far as I know, so get online and have a look at that. So it's $2,500 Australian for the deposit, or I think it might be $1,650 or thereabouts US dollars for the deposit right now, but the price of the board is $3,300 USD, and 5,000 Aussie dollars for the complete board with the RTS system engaged and built and everything else. I'm not sure what the graphics are going to be like on the consumer board that's coming, but I'm assuming that it'll be slightly different or slightly unique. I'm sure that they're going to change from the Genesis slightly, maybe a little bit, I'm not really sure. We'll have to wait and see what the boys at Radium come up with, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty stylish because this board looks amazing. Alright, pros and cons. Pros and cons. Alright, cons. I'm going to get into the things that they're not really cons, they're basically things they could probably improve on, and it's very minimal. I've honestly got to say it's very minimal. With the deck shape, I'm used to having a wide deck like this. I'm quite a short guy, obviously. You know, I tell everybody I'm 6'4", but I'm not. I'm actually 5'7", and I've got a size 8.5 to 9 Aussie size, so it's probably similar to American, maybe a touch smaller. My feet are very small. I found myself sitting into this pocket over here, into the very front lip of this board. I'm going to see if I can put you back here so you can see it. In here, I found myself sitting in here with my heel in here. Usually I ride with my toes over and my back heel out, so I'm natural footed and I ride with toes over this side and heel back, but I actually rode with my heel on this side and my toes on the back pushing off. So it was actually a different feel for me completely, this board, for foot position. It wasn't something that I didn't like, but it just took me a while to find it. I understand there are a few people who are putting bindings on the front of this to get a more controlled feeling of that front foot. I did move my foot around a little bit to get the most comfortable position for myself, which I found was a little bit different than where I normally am. So that's one thing. The grip tape has bubbled in one place. That's a very weak thing to come up with, but it's probably something I'm not 100% comfortable with. The plug in the back, although I love it, if you push it in too deep, it's really, really difficult to get out. But I love what they've done here with this plug cover for charging cover. The charge goes vertical in the top of the board over here and basically engages and locks in. I do love it. It's very tight. So those of you who push too deep in and lock it in, I've only got little stumpy fingers and they really struggle to get in those pocket holes. You may want to take a pair of vice grips or something gentle just to be able to pry that out. It sounds horrible to take a tool to it. I haven't, which is because I'm desperate. I didn't want to do it. I was really gentle. I just kept going at it for ages to get it out, but it had been pushed in pretty deep. Just be mindful of that. Now, they're my only 2 or 3 minors on this. My pros. The first thing that is always going to take you with this board is its visual aspect. This thing is absolutely beautiful, and it's slightly intimidating when you actually see it. When you get on this board for the first time, you don't want to dirty it because it is absolutely beautiful, but you've got to ride a board to buy, right? So it's what it's made for. So carbon fiber, I'm assuming that you're going to get some scratches on this beautiful carbon fiber at times, so just expect it to scratch up at one time or another. It's not going to stay perfect forever. That belly pan, I'll show you the underneath of this board because it is absolutely beautiful. There it is there. That's going to get scratched up over a period of time and it's never going to look perfect. So I'm not sure whether the guys at Geckoderm have had a look at this. Hopefully they have. Maybe guys at Geckoderm have actually made an underbelly cover for this so you can stop that carbon fiber from getting scratched up. That would be a beautiful thing. Hopefully they have, because that would add an extra level of protection to that underbelly, which is just so nice to look at. Now, the other things from pros. The steering of this is amazing. The carvability of this is amazing. The acceleration is amazing. Braking is next level. These guys have tuned this Vesk to perfection. I've honestly got to say, in that mode 3, when you take off, it's just next level. The acceleration is just unbelievable. Top speed, I think I got about 50, 60k an hour or somewhere thereabouts. Literally had it for a day riding. The weather broke out and we had a clean day for one day, so I took advantage of that full day and rode for most of it. The acceleration of this is just amazing. I sat and rode in, I must admit, in mode 1 majority of the time because I don't need to accelerate like a lunatic. I really wanted to ride the board and feel the board out. But you find yourself wanting to play because the power is there, the ability is there, and it wants to go. So you fall into that trap of accelerating and playing around with how much get up and go this board's actually got. So one thing I've got to say, probably a little con, if you're a new rider, take your time in mode 1, get used to the board, ride it, play with it, enjoy it, learn and scale. Do not jump into this thing and go mode 3 from the get-go, because you will potentially hurt yourself, because it is a very powerful board. Everything about this I love, love, love. I cannot emphasize all the things. The trucks, the suspension working in conjunction with the tires, the feel of the road or the pathways underneath you is just next level. You have a connection with the road underneath you like no other board I've ever ridden before in my life. This thing at the end of your ride, it leaves you just feeling wow, like your adrenaline's pumping. I went out in my Kevlar E-Cruise jacket, which is over here behind me, and a t-shirt and the jeans and my Leat knee guards for protection. I came back after a 40-50 minute ride the first time, and basically I was perspiring, t-shirt was soaked, and yeah, it just raises your heart rate. You just cannot help but play. It is that sort of board that you just want to enjoy everything about it, and you can. I'm no Dylan Bell, so you won't find me doing any monos and all the rest of it, not for a while. Well, it's not my board, so I wouldn't do it anyway. But I honestly feel that you could, once you've had time on this board and get used to it, you could ride it. No one will ever be Dylan Bell, but you could ride it and enjoy the whole experience of this board, because it'll grow for a long time and you'll enjoy growing with it. It is that sort of board. The wheels are magnificent. For general riding, they covered all my bases. I felt like I was more on a urethane wheeled board than a normal inflated tired board. But I tell you what, these wheels grab hold. They're absolutely magnificent. I really enjoyed them as an everyday ride board as well. The tires lend themselves beautifully too, just pure comfort. What else? I just can't talk enough about this. I could sit here for 3 hours and just ramble about how much I enjoyed it. The only way you're going to get to enjoy it though is if you try one out, or you just bury yourself in and just go for it. I am committed. I'm going to get one of these boards. It is going to be in my quiver of boards. I've got a few projects coming on, so stay with the channel, because the full send electric board is going to get a fairly substantial makeover, and there's a lot of stuff going to happen to that board. But in the process of that happening, and while I wait for the 100 boards to be built by Radium, I'm hoping one of my boards will be in that order. I'm assuming if I can get myself together and sorted quick enough, I can get myself into that build list. So right now, I'd love to tell you more, but the ride footage speaks for itself. The smile on my face speaks for itself. There was times where I found myself smiling and giggling like a school kid, and because I was having so much fun. And other times I was in awe, and I was probably a little bit shocked, because this board just kept going and extending my need or my want to get better as a rider. I think I said it to Liam the other day, and I'll quote this, because I did actually say this to Liam, who's one of the guys from Radium. He is the guy that started all this. I wrote, something, an obscenity. It's fast, mind blown. And he's written, yeah, it doesn't leave much to be desired. And I actually wrote this, nothing at all except someone's own limits. And I honestly feel that this board, it doesn't have a general riding limit. The limits of riding this board are what you set yourself. If you want to go fast, you can. If you want to carve like a demon, you can. This board basically lets you ride the way you want to ride. And if you want to exceed expectations of your own expectations, you can keep riding this and getting better, and the board will keep growing with you. It's one board which I don't think is going to run out of legs in a very, very, very long time. One thing that has come up, and a couple of people have said to me, it has a 12.6 battery, which is going to give that 30-mile range of 48 kilometers, depending on who you are. Some people are saying, is it big enough? I would say yes, because in all honesty, 30-40 minutes of riding this, you're going to stop and have a coffee and a relax and go and let my, I'm an older guy, I'm going to let my heart catch up with me, because I tell you what, it charge once in the middle of the day and then go again. By the end of the day, I'm probably going to be exhausted from riding this, because you tend to want to play on this board so much. So I think the limitation is going to be you and your riding style. So anyway, I hope that gives you enough of an insight and some good riding footage of the Radium's Performance Genesis 01. Still can't believe it. Again, big shout out and thanks to Phillip, who is the actual owner of this board. I cannot thank the gentleman enough for allowing me to take his brand new Genesis board out. As I said, this is one of 11. Was only 10, but one of 11. This is number 1. It has got the gold plated 01 etched into the front of the ID plate in this. It is a beautiful board. It's the only one with the gold plate on it. It is beautiful. It's an absolutely classy, magnificent machine, designed and engineered to absolute and utter perfection. Radium Performance, Will, Liam and Ant, you guys have outdone yourselves with this thing, and I was so glad I didn't get to ride it in Vegas, and I got to come back and actually experience this from a first time perspective when I actually got to ride the board and demo this and actually do a full trial on it, and review on it. So thank you. I'm grateful that I didn't ride it in Vegas and beforehand, but I got to ride 01, and thank you again, Phillip. I'm completely and internally indebted to you for you allowing me to do this. So that's it from me. Craig Taylor signing off. Stay upright, keep smiling, and if you haven't got one of these, get onto the website and get yourself booked for one, because I tell you what, once they're gone, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Radium or where they're going next, but you don't want to miss out on one of these boards. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best electric skateboard I've ever ridden. That's it. Number 1 in my books for now. That's it. Until something more amazing comes out, this is the board of choice for anybody in that premium market. That's it. That's it.
Holy fuck. What can I say? The Radium board has definitely ticked every one of my boxes and some. I don't know which direction to go now from here. Oh my goodness, what a board. I just have no words. Whew.